As we meet here today, young babies, children are held in Gaza. This is beyond imagination, a living nightmare. Ofri, 10 years old. Avigail, 3 years old. Maya, 17 years old. Raz, 4 years old. Aviv, 2 years old. Ariel, 4 years old. Kfir, little Kfir, only 9 months. Yuval, 8 years old. Ofir, 17 years old. There are just a few of the many children and babies that have not seen evil. They have not caused evil, but they are victims of evil. These kids
Mr.
witness
President,
horror which cannot be described by word. Mr. Secretary General, in what world do you live? Definitely, this is not our world. Do I want to remember the creation of hell, the shouts of the raiders in joining the hunt, cries of the wounded begging for life, faces of mothers craved with pain, hiding children, dripping with fear? No, I don't want to remember. But how can I forget? Do I want to remember this world upside down? Families vanish in the midst of the day. The mass grave steaming with vapor of blood. Mothers screaming for children in vain. No, I have to remember and never let you forget. This heart-burning poem was written by Alexander Kimmel, a Holocaust survivor in 1942. 5 years later, the United Nations General Assembly voted in favor of the creation of the Jewish state, the birth of the State of Israel. 75 years ago was a clear statement: never again, never again. Saturday, October 7, will go down in history as nothing less than a brutal massacre. Saturday, October 7, is a wake-up call for the entire free world, a wake-up call against extremism and terror. On that day, over 1,500 terrorists of Hamas and Islamic Jihad infiltrated Israel from the south with a viciousness exceeded even ISIS, killing over 1,400 babies, children, women, and men, and wounded over 4,000. They went from house to house, slaughtering entire families and individuals in the beds, on the streets, on the way to the synagogue, raping women, burned them alive, dancing and chanting on people's bodies. You have not been there. You have not seen the horror or smell it. Let us pause for a moment. Think about many innocent people that just wake up in Saturday morning. So many of them are not yet brought to a final burial. And let's recite the immortal words of the Jewish prayer for the dead, the Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah. This massacre will go down in history as more brutal than ISIS. Hamas are new Nazis. Hamas are the new Nazis. Just as the civilized world united to defeat the Nazis, just as the civilized world united to defeat ISIS, the civilized world has to stand united behind Israel to defeat Hamas. Let us no mistaken about Hamas' intention. I'm sure, Secretary General, you can read it. Its charter clearly calls for the destruction and elimination of the State of Israel. This will never be. Over 220 were taken hostage. Among the hostages, children who have seen their parents murdered, Holocaust survivor, elderly in need for care and medicine. We call for immediate, the Red Cross access to all the hostages and their unconditional release. Present in this room, Moran Aloni. 7 members of his family were taken hostage. Moran's sister, Sharon Aloni Konyo, and Danielle Aloni were kidnapped with Sharon's husband, David, and their 3-year-old twins, Emma and Yuli. 3-year-old twin. Right now, while we are sitting here, they are held by the Hamas. Alongside Daniel's 5-year-old daughter, Amelia. Early morning, early Saturday, on the 7th of October, Sharon wrote on her family group chat that there are Hamas terrorists in their home, and they are hiding in the safe room. A few minutes later, she wrote that the terrorists set the house on fire, since if they are not able to enter into the room and to slaughter them, they burn the houses in order they will get out. And they written that they are choking in the safe room. A few minutes later, Moran received a private message from his sister. We are dying. Help us. The family received information that Sharon, Daniel, Emma, Yuli, Emilia, David, and Ariel, David's brother, are held in captive by Hamas terrorists in Gaza. Here with us is another family, Hersh Goldberg-Polin, a young man, age 23, one of the beautiful and innocent participants in the music festival. Hersh is seriously injured. On his phone, the last 2 text messages he managed to send to his parents before he was kidnapped to Gaza. I love you. I'm sorry. That's what he wrote to his parents. There are other family here with us today, the family of Itai Chen, Kit and Aviva Segal, Liad Benin, Idan Alexander, Omer Ventura, and there is so many more. Qatar, which finance and harbor of Hamas leaders, could influence and enable the immediate and unconditional release of all hostages held by the terrorists. You, members of the international community, should demand Qatar to do just that. The meeting should conclude with a clear message: bring them home. Bring them home. I would like to listen to this recording.
طب انا قاعد اكلمك من جوا بسيم، افتح الواتس تبعه قول له وين، شوف كيف القتلى، شوف كيف قتلت بيدي يابا، ابنك قتل يهود، هاي دخلوا بسيم يابا. ربنا يحميك يا رب، ربنا يحميك يابا، ربنا يحميك. قاعد اكلمك من جوال يهوديه، قتلتها وقتلت جوزها.
This is a terrorist of Hamas. What he said in there in Arabs, he telling to his mother and fathers that he is proud, that he has blood of 10 Jews that he murdered. What monster they gave a birth to. Secretary General, this is the world that we live. We give Palestinian Gaza till the last millimeter. There is no dispute in regards to the land of Gaza. But they take the money they receive from the world, and instead of building hospital, office building, commercial center, they took the money to dig tunnels, to build rocket factory, not for the favor of the people. This is one example. And you see, and you can show all the movie that they film, and they're proud of this. The low lives were not speaking on behalf of Islam, human values, or fight for freedom. They were speaking on behalf of cruelty, malice, and hate. And you should all ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen, who do we face? We, Israel, we don't only have the right to defend ourselves. We have the duty to do so. This is not a right. This is a duty. I want to speak to all of you and to tell you, the West is next. The West is next. The war which was imposed on us, there is no side. This war was imposed on us. Is not only Israel's war. It is the war of the free world. I hear the call for proportionality. I hear the calls, as said Lynn before, for a ceasefire. Tell me, what is a proportionate response for killing of babies? For rape women and burn them? For beheading of a child? How you can agree to a ceasefire with someone who swore to kill and destroy your own existence? How? The proportional response to October 7 massacre is a total destruction to the last one of the Hamas. It is not only Israel's right to destroy Hamas, it's our duty. For Israel, it's a matter of survival. The free world should remember and never forget what happened on October 7th. Today, this barbaric terror hit Israel. Tomorrow, it will be at everyone's doorstep, at everyone's doorstep. These terrorists don't have only Israel destruction in mind. Their dream is the world. Read about it. Exactly like the Nazis. They say it. They are willing to expand. This war was imposed on us. We have not chosen this war, but have no doubt we are going to win it. We are going to win it because this war is for life. This war must be your war as well. As Iran's proxy, Hamas, has three objectives to its barbarous attack: the murder of Jews, the kidnapping of hostages, and derailing the expansion of peace, stability, and normalization in our region. United will and purpose like never before. Israel must now act in an unprecedented way to ensure Hamas objectives will never be met. Will never be met. This is the aim, the 18th day since the beginning of this war. Through the last 18 days, our citizens were under heavily missile and rocket fire from Gaza, and not only from Gaza. There is a clear attempt on escalating and provoking a war on our northern border, where the Iran proxy Hezbollah is targeting our cities. The objective of Hamas, its patron and collaborator, is clear. They will not succeed. Not only from neighboring country, Israel is facing threat. Last week, cruise missiles were launched at Israel from Yemen. Have no illusion who is behind it and what is the reason. I'm telling to our Arab country and neighbor, we share the same threat of Iran and the terror organization. The same threat. I stand here in front of you saying loud and clear, this war will be won. And for the international community to understand who is under threat and who is the aggressor. Mr. President, colleagues, permanent representative, the world now is facing a clear choice of moral clarity. One can be either part of the civilized world or surrounded to the forces of evil and barbarism. Hamas savages and their friends. There is no middle ground, no room for moral ambiguity, no room for this. I want to thank all the government who's already designated Hamas as a terror organization, and I call others to do it immediately. I want to thank the United States, President Biden and Secretary Blinken for showing such a moral clarity, for standing with Israel in word and deed at this dark hour. Thank you. I also wish to thank the many other leaders from across the world who have come to stand with Israel in this difficult time. I would like to remind you, the Charter here of the United Nations, which you all signed, begins with this word: we, the people of the United Nations, determined to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war, which twice in our lifetime has brought untold sorrow to mankind. Today, after the most vicious and brutal terror attack in the modern history, if all nations do not stand decisively and clearly by the innocent orphans left alone in the world, by the kids that were slaughtered while dancing at sunrise, by the Holocaust survivors murdered or kidnapped, stand by Israel on our mission to eliminate the monsters from the face of the earth. If all nations do not stand by the basic value of humanity described in the UN Charter, this will be the darkest hour of United Nations under you, Mr. Secretary. At this place, will have no moral justification to exist. At this difficult time for the people of Israel, we say loudly, we are strong. We will rebuild. We are determined and resolved to achieve our dream, to be a free nation in our land, the land of Zion and Jerusalem. Thank you.
I thank His Excellency, Mr. Cohen, for his statement. I shall now make a statement in my capacity as the Minister for Foreign Affairs of Brazil.